Hey everyone, welcome to Wine Diplomat. I'm Yurika, and today we are going to have some fun with one of my favorite styles of wine, and that is sparkling wine. Today we are going to blind taste 3 different styles of sparkling wine. We're going to have a Cava, a Prosecco, and a Champagne, like a real Champagne, like in the Champagne region of France Champagne, right? So the fun part, I think, is they're all 3 different price points, and Cava tends to be the least expensive. Prosecco is somewhere in the middle, and Champagne is for sure the most expensive. So part of the fun is not only the price points, but will I be able to figure out which one is the Champagne, and maybe I'll get tripped up by a really good Cava or a really good Prosecco. So I'm excited. I think all 3 of these should be really good. I do not know what they are. I just gave instructions to get a real Champagne, a Prosecco, and a Cava. So let's start with, let's do wine A. Let's get it started right now, okay? Like, whenever there's bubbles involved, I'm ready to go ASAP. And that's what's cool is that, give me the glass. I'll do the bottles later. Cause they're in the kitchen. Yeah, because that's what's so cool is that what's cool about sparkling wine is that it doesn't have to be a special occasion. It doesn't have to be somebody's birthday, or it doesn't have to be New Year's or whatever. Sparkling wine is good all the time. So this is wine A. All right, I'll put this over here in this camera. I can tell really rich, deep yellow color to it. And we are tasting in regular wine glasses. So with flutes or things like that, they're really cool at seeing the bubbles fly up, but they're not really that good at being able to smell the wine. I mean, champagne is wine, so you want to smell it. You want to use your eyes. You want to use all your senses. So with a regular wine glass, it's got this, there's room to smell it, things like that. So we'll take a look here. With champagne tends to have finer bubbles to it. I'll put it in here so hopefully we can see maybe the condensation. We'll see some of the bubbles rising up there. So with all these, I'm expecting there to be, there could be anywhere from like apples, pears, to apricots, peaches, depending on sugar level. This one's definitely more tropical fruit. It's definitely more like stone fruit, peaches. Big acidity. Woo! I love those bubbles. It hits your tongue, right? And it kind of dances on your tongue. Very dry, too. All right. All right. Okay. So this has a nice, like, bready, like a biscuity, yeasty kind of texture and flavor to it, which is very indicative of actual, like, champagne. It's very bone dry. This has a very low sugar content to it, and the acidity is pretty balanced. I like this wine a lot. I think it's a good sparkling wine, and it's definitely not, it's tart. It's hitting you, man. There's pears and not quite green apples, but you're getting tropical fruits, pears, lowest high balanced acidity with that little bit of biscuity breadiness. That'll be important because I have a thought, but I want to see what the other 2 are. Josh, my friend, let's do wine letter B. B for... This is my baby burp. A B for baby burp off screen here. I love it. That's fun. Okay. All right, so we'll put this over here. Considerably lighter. We'll see if I can get this in this camera here. This is almost like you could see this is almost like a golden yellow, where this is more of a platinum blonde, very not as deep, rich color. Looking at the bubbles, I mean, we've got a lot of bubbles going on. So with a champagne, they're actually fermented in the bottle, and where a Prosecco or a Cava tend to be a different method where they're actually like introducing the CO2 into the wine to give it the bubbles. And so this I think has some, oh, okay, noticeably more sugar. Like you could just right off the bat smell the difference. You're getting bright peaches, bright honeysuckle, bright apricot, which is in stark comparison to like the more like they're not as bolstered like the stone fruit, the peaches, but it's not like this. This is like, whoo, it's like syrup jumping out of the glass. Absolutely. More sugar. It doesn't have that bready, biscuity thing. This is way more, less complex. I should say it's less complex. It's refreshing, but it definitely isn't as deep and complex as A. You can definitely tell the sugar content is higher. Okay, I have a thought on that one too. So that's B. Let's do C. Let's do the last one. I have strong opinions. I think I'm ready to call them what I think they are. This last one's gonna. Oh, okay, yeah. So now this is the last one. This is darker in color, but like so. Here's B next to C. You can see the color difference there. But in comparison with the first one, which I think A is really well made. I think wine A is a naturally like aged wine. C here has got some. I mean, maybe it just has more skin contact or something, but it just kind of has this. It's kind of yellowish. Like I drink a soda called Inca Cola from Peru. It's really good. You should try it. It's kind of like bubble gum, and it's phenomenal. But this has that color. Oh, okay. This is like tropical fruits jumping out of the glass. Just not as expressive. It kind of has one note, and it's jumping right out. Okay. This is bone dry too. Okay, so very low sugar, especially with having the B, which I believe has more sugar in it. This is lower, but it's also not as expressive, if I could say the word. This is just like green apples and pears. The acidity is higher, maybe even in the first one. There's not a lot of balance to this wine. It's kind of like a lot of acidity and a lot of green apples and a lot of pears with no sugar. The bubbles, again, I don't know if you can pick this up in this camera, but the bubbles aren't as like fine as wine A, but there's less of them than wine B. So I kind of think this is it's probably a natural traditional method, like just like you would make champagne. But I don't think this is a champagne at all. Okay, it's my least favorite of all of them. So I'm pretty confident. I'm confident I can call this. I'm saying C is a Cava. I think C is the least expensive of the three. It doesn't feel to me, in my opinion, right? No offense to the winemakers, but C to me feels like the least well made of the three. And I think the color kind of gives it away. The bubbles aren't as fine as wine A or wine B, but just kind of everything all together is telling me this is an inexpensive wine. If it's a Cava, then it's only like $10, and then like, all right, it's $10. Like, what do you expect? Like it's pretty good for $10. B, I believe, is the Prosecco of the three. I believe B, because of its sugar content, gives it away, because of its very light color. You're using, in Champagne, you're using Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Meunier. In Prosecco, you're using Glera. But I think this is a very well-made Prosecco. If I go back to it, I mean, this is refreshing. I think I've said that, and it's just like, this is a wonderful Prosecco. I believe this would be in the $15 range for Prosecco, but I think it's really well made. So there's a couple areas it might actually be specifically in Prosecco. But Wine A is my favorite. Wine A, I believe, is a Champagne from Champagne, France. I believe that the complexity of its aroma gives it away as a telltale sign. That's very fine, like string of bubbles, tells me that this has been aged appropriately. This hasn't been processed. This is like bottle fermented, exactly what we would want out of a Champagne. And it's just like balanced like a symphony. You get the peaches, you get the pear, but it's not overwhelming. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So A is my favorite. A, I believe, is the Champagne, but here comes the moment of truth. Josh, my friend, let's start with C. C, what is it? Oh, no. These are fine. No, give me the bag. Give me the bag. I'll do it. All right. So, I'll move this over here. Wine C was Dominio. I'm horrible at Spanish. Dominio de la Paseta Brut Cava. All right. So, absolutely. For a Cava, I think it's a little heavy-handed, right? But it's definitely, if you're looking for, mimosa juice, like, okay, let's get into that. Like, where are we drinking this stuff? It doesn't have to be New Year's. Tuesdays on Mimosa Day is a great day to have this stuff. So why spend $50 on some stuff when you're going to open up 2 or 3 bottles of sparkling wine and throw some orange juice or peach juice or something, like if you're making bellinis, if you're making mimosas, if you're throwing whatever juice in there, like if you're making little spritzers and you're putting fruit inside of this thing, man, like the Cava is your best friend. So go to the store, spend $10 to $15 on a really good Cava from Spain, and you're not going to be disappointed. This particular one is not one of my favorites, though. It was a little heavy-handed, and it's kind of a telltale. Like we kind of tell. So we'll put that. Now let's do B. B, my friend, little lighter. I said this is the Prosecco, but I think it's a well-made Prosecco. I'll get into it. There's specifically a place I think that it was made in, and B is. Ooh, you sure this is B? Let's see. I'm gonna. This is B. This. Which one is this?
A.
You gave me the wrong one. Yeah. Because I'm just saying. Do we have a glass? Do we have an empty glass? Find me an empty glass. Because I think this is not right. Oh, even better. Okay, cool. So we were talking about flutes, right? This is a good opportunity. See, we're making lemonade here. So this is a really cool glass. So you see, it's not a regular flute, but it's a tulip, is what I would assume it's called. All right, I'm going to pour this. We'll see which one this looks like. All right? Because maybe I'm wrong. Ooh. Almost too close to call here. Those are not the two things. If you do you want to try those? I think this is A. This is B. This is A. Like, try that. Now try that. This is the fun part. Do I get enough?
This was different.
It's different?
Yep.
So this is not this?
Nope.
Okay. That's an official judge's ruling. This is A. Okay. Well, then I'm going to drink the rest of this then. It's good stuff. All right. So give me the one that's sitting over there.
So this is actually B.
It's the second time this has happened, so don't worry. This is a natural occurrence. So this is B, and B is, yep, Colalto. Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so this is Colalto Prosecco from the area of Conegliano and Valdobbiadene. So Conegliano, Valdobbiadene, or Valdobbiadene. I've heard it said both ways. This is like the best place in Prosecco to get Prosecco. So if you see the words Conegliano or Valdobbiadene, it's a very long V word, right? If you see that, that's like the primo place to be getting this stuff. They make phenomenal stuff. And there's a word, I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, but there's a word right there, and it says extra dry. Right? So extra dry, what that means versus, you might have saw in the Cava, it says the word brut, right? So brut means like brutally dry. Brut is the lowest level of sugar that's going to be in a sparkling wine. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that sounds kind of weird because extra dry, doesn't extra dry mean like really dry? And the truth is that basically with the way that the labels go, extra dry used to be at one point the driest, meaning less sugar that there was until they figured out a way to make brut. So extra dry is just a little sweeter than brut, where brut is brutally dry. It's like the driest that you're going to find, okay? Well, what that means is that if the Cava was C and the Prosecco was B, then the very last one is Champagne Jean Noel Aton. As my wife makes fun of me of my French accent, this is by far the best of the panel, and it was so good that I could distinguish it in a taste test that we just did 2 seconds ago. So we have fun here. But this is actual champagne from Champagne, France. I have not had this before. I've not heard of Champagne Jean Noel Aton. What is this a... Okay, 60% Pinot Meunier, 40% Pinot Noir. I had said earlier, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay are your usual suspects when it comes to champagne. Pinot Meunier is normally a blending grape. It's kind of like the third one. This is really cool because I haven't had a lot of champagnes in my life that have 60% Pinot Meunier. Yeah. So this is a wine, I think my wife had said we didn't spend more than like $30 on this. $35 I think was the top. And that's where you're going to find good champagne is going to start out around $30. Check your local wine shops, though. A lot of times these guys will work with you. They'll find a lesser-known champagne house that they can get from a distributor for not a lot of money. And that sounds like what this is. It's not a house I've ever heard of, but it is champagne, and it's the right price. And I mean, side by side, these are good, and that Prosecco is really good too for $15. But we need something special. You could do a lot worse than actual champagne. You would not, if I catch you making mimosas out of champagne, unless you got it like that, okay? If you got it like that, hey, come on. But, save that for this stuff. This is beautiful and it goes with everything. You can drink this with fried chicken. You can drink this with a rack of lamb. You could drink this with whatever you want, but treat yourself sometime. Try some champagne and do this for yourself. Go grab yourself a Cava, right? Go grab yourself a Prosecco, and if you got it like that, go grab yourself a champagne. And you tell me in the comments, what did you like? Do you like Cava? Do you like Prosecco? Or do you like champagne? So hit that little like button, hit that little subscribe button, and let us know in the comments what was your favorite wine. So this has been fun. Even if we mix and match a few sometimes, that happens here. But as we go through, refreshing, better than its price point, and of course, the king of them all, champagne, often duplicated, but never better than the original, baby. So from all of us at the Wine Diplomat, my name is Yurika. This was a lot of fun, guys. Check us out every single week. We give you new wine videos. And from all of us, we say cheers and have a great weekend. You wrote down ABC, right?
Yeah. It was just the bottles. Everything.
Oh, give me the piece of paper. I need the piece of paper. See, I gotta do this. This is the finale. So, that's what it says. Read and weep. My wife wrote this down. A is the champagne. B is the colado. And C is the cava. So, no conspiracy there, baby. I know. You can't trick me. I'm the Wine Diplomat, baby.